Hello everyone, this is Darcinovia here. It's been a while since I've done a review. This time, I'm going back to Jedi Apprentice, but it's not actually Jedi Apprentice. It's the special edition. This is the first one, called Deceptions. What these essentially did is Jade Watson wrote, a story that revolved around Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in the first half, then in the second half, Obi-Wan and Anakin. You see, in these stories, whatever happened in that particular part affects the present, at least during the second half. Now, what's the premise of this book? Well, if you read Jedi Apprentice, by the end of the Xanatos arc, which is the first major arc in this series, there was someone that Obi-Wan, had a rival with, and he felt guilty about his death. Now, when I was reading this, I wondered, why didn't they elaborate on this more? Well, one thing I really loved is this book took an opportunity to expand upon that. The first part of this book takes place right after the 8th book of the series. So you get some moments with Qui-Gon and Tal, which is nice to see some more moments because, there's barely any of them. And honestly, I'm a sucker for Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Come on. If you've read this series, you would know why. Now, how's the story? The first half of it deals with Obi-Wan being put on trial because he's accused of being responsible for the death of Brooke. I think that's his name. Brooke. And his brother and his father blame him for his death. In fact, I don't want to spoil too much. They leave, claiming they'll hate him for the rest of their lives. Now, what's interesting about this story is it flashes forward 12 years after that, which, in a way, this kind of confirms how old Obi-Wan was during Episode 1. Because, Obi-Wan, during the events of Jedi Apprentice, when the series started, he was 12. Well, he's, at this book, at least during the second half, he's 25 to 26 years of age. So that would mean he was 23 during the events of Episode 1. So yeah. So you get to see Obi-Wan and Anakin during their earlier years. This takes place before Rogue Planet, but it's one of the rare stories where you get to see a pre-Hayden Christensen Anakin Skywalker featured with Obi-Wan together. And these are really rare. Not many of these kind of stories exist. And it's really nice to see what their bond was like during the very beginning. I would have really wanted to see more of these, but I can understand from a marketing perspective that they didn't want to stick primarily to Jake Lloyd Anakin. Now, the second half of the story, he meets that person again, and should I spoil the ending? I will not. But there's some characters that you may be familiar with if you read Jedi Apprentice. That's going to be nice seeing them again. The story is well written and it's paced well. Then again, Jade Watson does a really great job with these books. Now, the second half, I'll review probably another day, but this is a solid book. I give this a good rating. Definitely worth reading. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to start talking about Jedi Quest. Just one more book to go. The second book in the special edition, and we'll be on our way to getting to Episode 2 novelization, which, of course, we got quite a bit of ground to cover. But until then, hopefully this should hold you over. This is Darcinovia over and out. May the Force be with you. And see you guys later.